Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about behaviour-based change versus emotion-based change. Before I was a personal coach, I coached senior managers in global companies to help them improve customer service, profitability, and their staff experience and engagement. The first hurdle to doing this was to get them to understand that it is possible to improve all three of these things at the same time. The mental model that most managers have is that there's a trade-off between these. For example, you can provide great customer service, but that it's expensive. You can't have your cake and eat it. So you can see that the first barrier to improvement isn't the staff or the technology, but the mental models held by each senior manager. I would go on to teach them that many of their mental models or beliefs were flawed, and that by changing them, they could make huge improvements in all three of the aims of the project. Some of my clients save millions of pounds every year, while at the same time improving customer satisfaction metrics and having a happier and more engaged workforce. So one of the key concepts I taught managers was called double loop learning. Most improvements in business are what we call single loop, which is when you take a process and improve it. Double loop learning happens when you question some of your fundamental beliefs about a process, such as, do we even need to do it? Is it creating value for our customers? Is there another way to achieve our objectives and make our customers happy? So there's a theoretical underpinning to this, which is called the ladder of inference, developed by Chris Argyris. The ladder describes the process we go through in making a decision, often unconsciously. Now, this same ladder of inference was adapted by Dave Gray in his book Liminal Thinking. So when I read This Naked Mind by Annie Grace and found that she referred to Dave Gray's book, it all made perfect sense to me. If you want to change your behaviour, you need first to change your thinking. And liminal thinking is the art of creating change by surfacing and changing your unconscious beliefs. Gray used the old parable, which apparently dates from about 500 BCE at least, about a group of blind men that encounter an elephant and they're feeling around and you've probably heard it, the man who grasps the trunk, it feels like a snake to him, another touches the ear and he thinks it's some kind of fan and so on. So the point of this story is what seems obvious to us is built on a foundation of our experience, what we pay attention to, our theories about the world, our judgments, our beliefs. Now, much of this is unconscious, and it's all necessary to help us navigate the world. If we had to stop and work things out from first principles every time we encountered something that needed a decision, like opening a door for instance, we would be paralysed into inaction. The problem is, this process creates blind spots for us that can stop us from seeing other possibilities for action or change. These limiting beliefs are often what holds us back from reaching our potential. So let me give you an example from my own life. Because I wasn't good at drawing as a child, I somehow developed the limiting belief that I was not creative. I generalised this belief to contexts beyond drawing, such as writing and music. So although I had a desire to make the music I love, which has always been house music, I was put off for years because I thought, well, I'm not a creative person. But once I decided I was going to try and do it anyway, I found that this belief was untrue. I can be creative, but it takes work and practice to get there, as it does for everyone. That's why this naked mind approach to changing habits is so radically different. The most popular organisation to treat people with drinking issues is Alcoholics Anonymous, with more than 2 million members worldwide. Their fundamental belief is that there is a class of people called alcoholics who have a condition. They call it an allergy to alcohol that makes them powerless to resist alcohol if they're exposed to it. According to the big book, this allergy is specific to alcoholics and not present in what they call the average temperate drinker. Now, while many people have been helped by AA, neither the 12 steps nor the meetings addresses the core problem, which is that the people with a drinking problem still desire alcohol. Without changing the fundamental beliefs and emotions about alcohol, the things David Gray identified as lying under the surface of our actions, then the AA participant often still feels deprived and may still crave a drink until the day they die. Now, modern medical thinking is that there's no binary distinction between alcoholics and non-alcoholics. The contemporary term is alcohol use disorder, AUD, which is considered to be a spectrum between the mild and the severe. Now, I think this is tremendously empowering, as this gives agency back to the people who find themselves somewhere on this spectrum, and does not imply that you have to wait for some mythical rock bottom to admit that you're an alcoholic and need to change. The simple truth is that alcohol is an addictive substance that triggers the reward pathways of our brains, everyone's brains, which has the potential to cause AUD. Think of it as a bell curve. At the extreme left, you've got non-drinkers, perhaps for religious reasons, or they don't like the effects of drinking, or just don't like the taste. Just to the right of that is your Auntie Maud, who has a small glass of sherry on special occasions, gets tipsy and tells inappropriate jokes. And then way over on the right-hand side are the unfortunate people with severe AUD who struggle to function in society. But the vast majority of people sit somewhere in the middle. These are the people whose problems with alcohol are largely ignored by society, but whose struggles are very real indeed. Most of these people spend inordinate amounts of time wondering if they're alcoholics. They're at war with themselves, with one voice telling them to drink to relieve the stress they feel when they don't drink, and the other voice telling them that they need to stop or cut down to protect their health, their relationships, and their bank accounts. Now, you may wonder why some people develop more of a problem than others. The answer is that there's a multitude of factors that determine whether we drift to the right side of the curve. There's a genetic component, but there's no single gene for AUD, and nobody is born destined to have a problem. Rather, it's the interplay of many factors, including the age at first introduction to alcohol, social factors, personality, life experiences, affluence, and so on. The approach of this naked mind is to rewire your subconscious beliefs about alcohol so you no longer desire it. This is not achieved by hypnotism or any kind of tricks, but following 3 simple steps. So first is knowledge, understanding what alcohol does to you and its place in society. Next is emotion, changing your emotions with respect to alcohol by examining and challenging your subconscious beliefs. This is done by reflection and journaling and can be greatly accelerated and embedded by coaching. And then finally is action, putting on your metaphorical white coat and getting really curious about your drinking, finding out what it really does for you and what it's like to stop for a while. Here too, coaching can help you reflect and understand your own experiences with drinking or not drinking. What's really important is that we help our clients develop positive emotions about moving forwards towards a goal, which is a life free from the worries of drinking, and one where they are free to live their life to their full potential. As Marcus Aurelius put it, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. This is so much more powerful than moving away from negative emotions. If you think about any project that you've been involved in that was successful, maybe a home improvement project or something at work, I bet you had positive emotions about the results and even the process, rather than negative emotions because it was something you had to do. As coaches, we've seen this work in ourselves. We've all had struggles with alcohol in the past, and we see it every day with our clients. It's a beautiful thing to behold, and it's open to everyone. So I hope you found this useful. If so, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.